Hey, what up, everybody? This is Stevie Breach coming to you with the live continuous coverage of, I think this is June 23rd, 2014's Monday Night Raw. And on this edition of Monday Night Raw, I was hyped up from the beginning of the show that we were going to see a match between Stephanie McMahon and Vickie Guerrero. Vickie Guerrero was going to have to pay her punishment for last week screwing up getting the cup of coffee. For Stephanie McMahon. Basically, Roman Reigns intercepted that cup of coffee, and it led to Stephanie getting very desperately ill, puking all over the backstage locker room, puking all over Vickie Guerrero. One would think that Vickie Guerrero getting that puke dumped all over in her face and in her hair would be enough of a punishment that as it is, but Stephanie McMahon was embarrassed, and she was going to make sure that everyone paid for their sins, I guess you can say. So she told Vickie that she could be the GM of SmackDown. She could keep her job if she won her match tonight. Desperately, I was thinking that they were going to put her in a match against Kane. Just seeing that we haven't seen Kane wrestle since last week against John Cena. In my head, that was like 6 weeks ago until it came out of my mouth, and then I was like, damn, that was just last week. But Kane, who hasn't been on TV as of late, he didn't get added into either Money in the Bank match. I guess they're going to be saving him for the Daniel Bryan return to do this feud that they promised us for 2 months now. But basically, Vickie, she's had a long career in WWE. It spans over 9 years. It's 9 years longer than I thought it was going to be. When I think of Vickie Guerrero, I think of that horrible top rope spot at WrestleMania 26 where she jumped up on the top rope and she was desperately scared, and she jumped to her feet, hit her knees, and then fell down on whoever heck she got the pin on to get the win in that match, to give her WrestleMania moment and put her at the top of the charts. We've seen Vickie Guerrero get fired a few times, and a few times we thought she was leaving, but honestly, you got to give it up to Vickie. We've seen her, morph from just... It's hard for me to say, but Vickie wasn't that great looking when she came in. She got herself down to where she was modeling and doing, bathing suit, calendars. Something that I never thought we would see. But basically, we saw her married to Edge. We saw her go out with Big Show. We saw her babyface. We saw her heel. We saw her team with Brad Maddox. We've seen her do, honestly, just about everything there is for Vickie to do. She's going to leave now. She's going to go on and live her life. She did the Guerrero name proud. She lasted a lot longer than Chavo did. I guess Chavo asked for his release, or maybe he'd still be with us on WWE Monday Night Raw chasing Hornswoggle around right now. But if this is the end of Vickie, this was the way for her to go out in a very memorable moment. She honestly did everything that she was asked, and sometimes we hear things like Vince was trying to get Mark Henry to quit in the late 90s, and just having him do every embarrassing thing. But Vickie, I think she just got the wrestling business. She understood, you just do what you do. It's just acting. Nobody really believes you do the stuff you do on TV. But the match came down to be in the middle of the ring. Vickie came down there to the Eddie music, and she thought she was going to actually have a fight with Stephanie in the middle of the ring. But basically, Stephanie sent down her henchmen, 3 diva heels. She threw them in the, I don't know what it was, gravy bowl, mud bowl, sewage pit. Basically, she threw them all in one by one. Stephanie came up from behind and gave Vickie the dump when she was celebrating, throwing the 3 heels in. And after that, Stephanie McMahon tried to get a yes can't to no prevail. Everybody booed her out of the building pretty much as the heel who killed Vickie. Vickie got her revenge by tossing Stephanie McMahon in there, and she's able to walk away with her chest out and her head held high. As I'm very proud of Vickie. She's a lot better than I thought she was ever going to be. Honestly, I thought that she was going to be fired instantly. A lot of people said they were just keeping her around just because of how WWE felt bad for the Guerreros with Eddie dying on their watch. But I think by the end of it, I think basically Vickie held her own, even though they didn't have a spot for her in a good long while. I honestly didn't even know she was the GM of SmackDown, but I think that's my own fault for not checking out SmackDown week in and out. It seemed like she was on a revolving door with her and Brad Maddox over who was actually in charge of WWE. But, you know, with the authority, with Stephanie McMahon, with Triple H showing up on all the shows, you know, I don't think you really need GMs anymore, and that's why Brad Maddox got fired, Vickie's now fired, just, you know, Teddy Long got released for real, so we'll see what goes down, but, you know, so long, Vickie.